Next question is from September and June. US 05, what you got? Brewed an Imperial Stout with it. Did I make a mistake? I think using dry yeast for really big beers when you need, because you need a really big cell count, right? And a lot of times these yeast strains are going to be one and done. If you're beating the hell out of a strain, making a 9 to 12% beer, those things don't want to necessarily keep rolling, right? They might be in rough shape from a viability or petite mutant standpoint after that. And so you'll see a lot of times people using using a single use type approach with dry 05. I've had great success doing that. Dry 05, dry 04. I personally lean toward 05, even if I'm making a British type big beer, because sometimes I feel like in big beers like that, you're going to get some ester expression and some higher alcohols, and you're going to get some complexity from the yeast just because they're working harder fermenting a larger beer. But dude, those dry yeasts are a great way to stack up a big pitch of yeast to ferment those beers. And they claim, especially Fermentus claims, that the way they handle their yeast now, there's no need for rehydration, blah, blah, blah. And so I've gone for it on that. And I've definitely done that. And I don't think that you're going to have, a huge issue. If you hit your pitching rate, your temps are good, and I know your practices are solid, I think you're going to be pretty pleased. A couple things that maybe you might see. That beer might go a touch drier than you expected. Maybe not. I mean, you and I both know the numerous variables, whether it be mash temp, pitching rate, fermentation temps, ingredients, all that stuff, and makeup of your grist. All those things can come into play. But sometimes I've had those beers drill down pretty far, especially with 04. Yeah, I think a 1,000-gram pitch in 8 barrels was pretty robust. I mean, not overly so. I think I'm assuming you used a yeast calculator for it, but just off the top of my head, that sounds like a pretty reasonable number. If you want to throw the OG my way on that as well, yeah, I'm thinking that you're probably in a pretty good space for it. My guess is, and maybe we can chat about it soon. But my guess is that thing probably took off. Ambient temperature in the brewery matters though this time of year. I was just talking with Josh over at Cartridge. He wanted to get a beer into diacetyl rest, ramp up a few degrees to help it finish out. And he was struggling to do that because ambient temperatures are so low this time of year. So just be aware of the ambient temperature in your brew house, because I know sometimes there's not the best HVAC in people's fermentation space. You have the ability to make beers cooler, but not necessarily the ability to warm them up. So if you do have the opportunity to maybe keep that ambient temp a little bit higher to help it, or at least to not be kind of forcing it to stay cool because of the exterior, the ambient temp. That might be a good way to go, because I know a lot of people like to pitch a little on the cooler side and then ramp up for some of these bigger beers. So just a few things to think about. Leave some fermentation in there, leave some sugar in there. And if you're ticking up your glycol, make sure you still have some fermentation left for it to knock out and to kind of help push up. So yeah. Because I've had some issues in the past with things stalling, whether that be dry yeast or not. But September and June, as always, appreciate it. Andrew, I don't have experience with Imperial's Darkness, but if they list it as something that's a good option for that, I believe them. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're going to maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.